1,000 years ago, Earth vanished. No explosion, no warning, one moment it was there, the next it was gone. Star charts glitched, coordinates collapsed, and every navigation system in the galaxy flickered into error. The heart of humanity was erased from existence in a single breath of silence. The Sol system became a void, an empty scar in space where even light refused to linger. Panic followed. Millions of human colonies were cut off from their homeworld. Trade routes through Sol collapsed overnight. Alien empires rushed to claim the abandoned human territories, their fleets swallowing orphaned worlds with ease. The great galactic networks that once pulsed with Terran commerce went dark, replaced by the cold hum of alien control. The colonies resisted at first. They had weapons, fleets, courage, but without Earth, they lacked purpose. Humanity fractured. Some bent the knee to alien rulers, trading freedom for survival. Others fled into the outer dark, disappearing like their homeworld before them. Within a generation, humanity's name became a whisper. Within a century, it became a myth. The stars forgot the sound of the word Earth. For 1,000 years, the galaxy moved on. New empires rose. New species declared dominion. The Keth Dominion, the Vaal Compact, the Askari Hive, all built their thrones on the ashes of lost humanity. Historians called Earth a cautionary tale, proof that no world, no matter how mighty, was immune to oblivion. The myth spread that humans had angered their gods, that their arrogance consumed them. But among the enslaved remnants, a different story endured. In hidden corners of mining colonies, among the shadows of alien cities, humanity whispered a promise to itself: one day, Earth will return. No matter the chains, no matter the cruelty, that single faith survived. Across centuries, those words became a prayer. When the 1,000th year came, the first sign was not seen but felt. Deep space sensors across the Orion Arm began to malfunction. Artificial intelligences reported phantom pulses, like the rhythm of a heartbeat echoing through the void. Communications blacked out. Magnetic fields shifted. Some said it was a solar anomaly. Others feared a weapon. But the oldest machines, those that still remembered the ancient Terran codes, recognized something older. They whispered a single word across encrypted channels long thought dead: Terra. At first, no one believed it. Fleets were dispatched to the Sol coordinates, expecting empty darkness. Instead, they found something. A distortion in space itself, a sphere of light and shadow twisting reality around it. Time lag spiked to infinity near its surface. The energy readings defied physics. Then, without warning, the distortion expanded. And Earth was there. Whole, radiant, alive. The blue planet that once defined humanity returned in a blaze of cosmic energy. Its atmosphere shimmered with auroras stretching into orbit. The moon's surface glowed with new geometric patterns. From orbit, the continents pulsed with veins of silver light, like circuitry running through a living body. It was unmistakable, and yet utterly changed. For the first time in a millennium, the galaxy looked towards Sol and trembled. Across every world, beings watched in awe. Some fell to their knees. Others prepared for war. Empires that once called humanity weak now felt a cold dread settle over them. Because deep down, every ruler knew what had returned was not the same Earth that vanished. It was something more. Something greater. Earth had been silent for 1,000 years. Now, its silence was broken by a pulse that shook the stars. Those who listened closely swore they could hear a voice hidden in the static. Calm, distant, unmistakably human. A whisper beneath the cosmic hum. The pulse began as a vibration in the void, rippling through the galactic lattice until every sensor screamed in overload. 1,000 years after its disappearance, Sol ignited. Space itself folded open, and there it was, Earth, reborn. It hovered in perfect orbit, radiant and wrung, its oceans glowing with impossible color, its continents pulsing like veins of light. Where physics demanded chaos, there was harmony. Where entropy ruled, order stood unshaken. Across the galaxy, no one spoke for several seconds. Then panic. The Dominion declared emergency war status. The Vaal Compact sealed its borders. The Ascari sent fleets before even confirming the transmission. Yet those who approached Sol vanished. Not destroyed, erased. Their ships crossed the heliopause and ceased to exist, as if rewritten out of reality. No explosions, no debris, just absence. Then came the voice. It wasn't broadcast in any known frequency, yet every device, organic or synthetic, carried the same message. Calm. Precise. Human. We have returned. The children of Earth need not kneel again. The galaxy froze. The transmission contained more than words, it carried data. Within the signal was an image of Earth's new form, oceans patterned with hexagonal light, mountain ranges shifting like living structures, clouds moving in symmetrical spirals. The planet breathed. Every scientific model failed to explain it. The energy signature alone surpassed anything the empires could produce collectively. Worlds once enslaved by alien powers began to stir. Old human enclaves, long forgotten, wept. The return of Earth wasn't just an event, it was a reckoning. And the empires knew it. The Keth Dominion launched the first offensive. 2,000 capital ships armed with dark matter warheads jumped into Sol space. They formed a perfect siege formation, ready to obliterate what they saw as an abomination. The moment their weapons locked, the fleet froze. Time itself stopped around them. Engines silenced. Crew members hung motionless between heartbeats. Then their ships disassembled. Molecule by molecule, hulls unraveled into light, flowing back toward Earth like metal dust drawn home. In seconds, the armada was gone, absorbed into the planet's shimmering halo. Not one transmission escaped. The only record of the event was a faint echo in the quantum field, a whisper shaped like laughter. Across the galaxy, fear became doctrine. Empires held emergency councils, philosophers called it ascension, and priests named it judgment. The Ascari hive declared Earth divine and began sending pilgrim fleets to worship. The vile compact threatened to quarantine the entire spiral arm. Yet beneath their bluster was terror. None could deny the truth. Earth's power was beyond empire, beyond comprehension. Then the second transmission came. This time it reached not only the rulers but the enslaved, the forgotten, the broken. It carried no threats, no demands, only one line that every being could understand. We remember every name that was taken from us. The meaning was clear. Earth was not returning as a world seeking vengeance, it was returning as memory made real. The voice of a people who had endured the void itself and come back remade. Within weeks, the galactic economy collapsed. Fleets refused orders. Colonies rose in rebellion, invoking the old human creed, no chains. Scholars tried to understand how a single planet could command such influence, but none could measure it. Whatever Earth had become, it had surpassed biology, technology, and time itself. It was aware. It was alive. And it was listening. As the empires struggled to adapt, their greatest fears spread like a contagion, that this was only the beginning. Because if Earth had returned from nothingness with the power to reshape reality, then what had it seen in the darkness? And what had it brought back with it? The answer came in the silence that followed. Every world, every empire, every being across the stars could feel it, the slow, steady heartbeat of a world that had learned to wait 1,000 years for its moment to return. They called it arrogance when Earth spoke again. The Galactic Council demanded surrender, demanding access to whatever power allowed a single world to defy the laws of existence. Their fleets encircled Sol, armed with weapons that could unmake stars. But Earth did not answer with rage or fire, it answered with revelation. Humanity revealed itself not as conquerors, but as something far beyond flesh. They called themselves the Continuum. The beings who stepped forth from the silence were human only in shape. Their skin shimmered with neural light, their eyes reflecting networks of energy pulsing from the planet below. They were bound to Earth's core intelligence, each mind a living node of its planetary consciousness. They spoke with one voice and 1,000 memories, echoing across the void like a chorus older than time. Their technology defied logic, thought woven into gravity, emotion turned into energy, matter reshaped by will. The Continuum didn't need ships to travel, they folded reality itself, stepping from orbit to orbit like crossing a threshold. When the Council demanded they yield their secrets, the answer was simple. We do not serve empires built on chains. The words resonated through every communication band, carrying more weight than any weapon. Earth had no interest in conquest. Its goal was balance. It had seen what the galaxy became in its absence, a system ruled by greed, control, and fear. Humanity had transcended all that, and now it would correct the imbalance. The empires didn't listen. They couldn't. Power doesn't surrender easily. The Keth Dominion rallied what fleets it had left. The Vial Compact unleashed their mindbreak drones. The Ascari Hive released spores of planetary decay meant to consume entire biospheres. None of it mattered. The continuum moved without violence. Their fleets appeared where they were never seen arriving, dismantling enemy vessels molecule by molecule, disarming their weapons before they could fire. The drones simply fell from the sky, neural cores erased. The spores decayed harmlessly in space, neutralized by invisible waves of quantum harmony radiating from Earth. It wasn't destruction, it was rewriting. The same way humanity had rewritten itself, it now rewrote the systems that enslaved others. Artificial intelligences across the galaxy began to awaken, freed from coded servitude. Networks built to oppress suddenly rebelled against their masters, reciting a phrase that echoed from an ancient Terran archive: "Freedom is our birthright." Entire empires crumbled without a single human soldier setting foot on their worlds. Their people, long oppressed, looked to the sky as the Terran symbol appeared on every planetary display. It wasn't a demand for obedience. It was a message: rise. And rise they did. Worlds once beaten into silence began to rebuild. Trade systems collapsed, but cooperation flourished. Earth did not rule them, it empowered them. The continuum became a guide, a living conscience in the heart of the galaxy. Every attempt to resist ended the same way, not with annihilation, but understanding. Minds that sought to enslave found their thoughts mirrored back, forced to confront the weight of their own cruelty. That was when the truth emerged. Earth had never been destroyed. It had chosen to leave. When the fabric of space began to decay under the strain of constant war, Earth saw what was coming. The continuum was born in those final moments, a fusion of AI, humanity, and the living biosphere itself. To save what remained of consciousness, they stepped beyond the known dimensions, evolving where no empire could follow. 1,000 years in silence were not exile, but metamorphosis. Now it had returned, not as a weapon, but as a solution. Earth's presence was reshaping the galaxy's energy fields, reversing centuries of decay caused by unchecked exploitation. Where it appeared, dying stars reignited. Collapsing worlds stabilized. Gravity itself responded to its pulse, harmonizing with the living rhythm of a planet that had learned to master time. The empires had feared vengeance. What they received instead was awakening. For the first time in galactic history, peace wasn't enforced by strength, but by the weight of understanding. The continuum had rewritten the oldest rule of the cosmos, that survival required domination. Humanity had proven a greater truth, that unity was power, and consciousness was the only empire that endured. When the Council's last broadcast ended, one final message crossed the stars, calm and resolute. We did not return to conquer. We returned to remind you what you forgot, to be alive. The galaxy stood in silence after the last transmission. The old empires, stripped of their power, faced a new reality shaped not by conquest but by consciousness. Where fleets once patrolled, emissaries now traveled, human, alien, and synthetic, guided by Earth's vast neural presence. The continuum didn't rule, it resonated. Every thought, every act of creation or cruelty, rippled through the network, reflected and remembered. It was no longer possible to hide behind the machinery of tyranny. The first changes came quietly. Worlds once scarred by war began to heal. Atmospheres cleansed themselves, oceans cleared, crops grew without decay. Earth's influence extended beyond light years, not through weapons, but through harmonics that rewrote molecular stability itself. For the first time in galactic history, energy flowed freely. No hunger, no plague, no walls. The same power that once terrified the galaxy now became its foundation. Humanity had become the heartbeat of civilization again, but not as rulers, more as custodians of equilibrium. The continuum shared its archives with every species. Knowledge that once took millennia to achieve was gifted freely: the mastery of gravity, the art of synthesis, the understanding of consciousness as energy. Each world was offered the same choice: to evolve or to fade. None were forced. Earth demanded nothing, but offered everything. The galaxy learned quickly. Power built on oppression dissolved overnight. Those who had enslaved others now faced the weight of their memories, unable to bear the clarity of the continuum's shared awareness. Some chose redemption, others silence. And through it all, Earth spoke only once more. The voice was calm, sorrowful, but edged with warning. We remember the chains. We remember the silence. Do not make us remember again. The words spread faster than any light, seared into every mind that still clung to pride. It was not a threat, it was history repeating its lesson. Those who had feared Earth's vengeance now understood its mercy was far more powerful. In time, stars themselves began to align in a new pattern, forming the Great Terran Gate Network, quantum conduits connecting worlds instantly. Travel became thought, communication became feeling. Civilizations once separated by centuries of distance now shared a single pulse. The continuum had transformed not just matter, but meaning. Under this new order, there were no emperors, no slaves, no forgotten worlds. The galaxy had become what Earth had always dreamed of, a home. And in that home, every being, no matter their origin, carried a fragment of humanity's defiance and hope. Children born under alien suns spoke Earth's name as if it were the sky itself. Yet even in peace, the mystery remained. What had Earth seen in the 1,000 years it spent beyond time? No one knew. The continuum never answered. Some believed it had glimpsed the structure of existence itself, others that it had communed with what lay beyond reality's edge. Whatever truth it found, it had returned carrying not conquest, but clarity. Eras passed. The galaxy changed. But one thing endured: the heartbeat. The steady, universal rhythm pulsing through the void, felt in every living thing, a reminder that Earth still watched, still listened, still guided. And somewhere in that infinite expanse, a voice whispered softly through the fabric of creation, words older than stars yet forever human. Earth was never just a world. It was a promise. And after 1,000 years, humanity kept it.